Guys, it's Lynn again with Little Fit Nursery. I am here with my newest reborn baby. She is the Aria sculpt by Toby Morgan, and her artist is Jen of Creative Newborns. so anyway, I'm really excited to kind of change her into a new outfit and also to do her name reveal. It took me a few days to kind of really think of like the perfect name for her, but yeah, but I think I've decided on a name, and I have decided to name her Talia. So, meet baby Talia. And I don't know, it was just kind of like randomly came to me one day. And I'm going to change her into this, preemie size kind of romper sleeper. It's a footless sleeper by Carter's, and it's preemie size. And she's little. I really do think preemie probably suits her the best. So I'm going to go ahead and change her. And I also wanted to chat about a topic I saw floating around on one of the Facebook groups about, when you're selling to, customers, how do you decide? Like, let's say you list a doll for sale and a bunch of people message at the same time, how do you kind of decide who to sell to? Now, my opinion, may not be the popular one here, but yeah, I definitely have some thoughts on this. And by the way, I'm kind of looking up here to see if I have one more. Oh no, I do not have any more cloth diapers. Okay, I might have to order some more. But I think if it's a doll that I painted, I generally would try to go first come first serve, or for the most part. And I think that was kind of the prevailing opinion that yeah, it should really be first come first serve. And the reason why I would feel kind of more comfortable doing that with a doll that I painted is just mainly, just I feel like the risk factor is a little bit less. I'm going to try to take off her hospital bracelet now. Actually, yeah, Jen, I think I may have to cut this off, but I think I'm going to go ahead and cut it off, even though it's so beautiful. But just because... and it's so cute, it really does lend, but yeah, I don't think it comes off unless you cut it off. So there we go. All right. Okay, so here is the really, really adorable. Yeah, and I'm not, the reason I'm not calling her Aria is just because I already have a baby in my collection named Aria. So, and I think for those of you guys who are maybe newer to the community, you might think like, why is this controversial? Why wouldn't it always just be, kind of first come, first serve? And I think the reason being is there are a lot of scams in this hobby, unfortunately, and there are buyers who will do things like, they'll pay for the baby arrives, they might claim that the baby never arrived or that the baby arrived in really bad condition, and there have been a lot of different headaches reported by artists, things that have happened to them along these lines. So I think we all want to sell to someone that is trustworthy and has, good feedback in the community. And that's why it's so important to really build those relationships in the community and to build a solid reputation. And I think especially for a more expensive purchase, I think to ask for references, I think it's good to ask for references. So I think if it's a doll that I painted, it's a little easier for me to replace that doll if, heaven forbid something were to happen. But, and I mostly just do custom orders for dolls that I paint anyway, so that also kind of helps take away some of the risk because I, am insisting on, I won't start painting until I have the payment in full. I know different artists have different policies, but I think that, I don't have room to store the doll after I finish it, so I need to just kind of ship it off pretty quickly after it's paid for. So that's my policy for dolls that I paint. Oh my gosh, look at her. This is so cute. Oh, it's really cute on her. Aw. And let's check out the amazing hair painting again. Look how beautiful. All right, I'm gonna give her a little hug. Oh my gosh, she's just this like little peanut. Oh my gosh. She's beautifully done. Jen, you did such an awesome job on her. I love her. And whenever we have the Rose Doll Show, maybe 2021, maybe I'll bring her with me and we can take some pictures with baby Faye if you bring baby Faye again. So, oh my gosh, but thank you. She's precious. I love her. Oh, and she has this pacifier too, so we'll kind of like put that on her. Let her sleep soundly. Um, yeah, and guys, even though I haven't been like as engaged with this hobby, I don't know, just something makes me so happy to see this baby right now. Okay, so I guess I would say my policy when it comes to selling something from my personal collection, like a expensive silicone baby, I approach that completely differently. Like there are a lot of people who will only sell to people they know, and I know that's really not, it's really tough if you're newer to the hobby and don't have that reputation, and maybe you're a great buyer, but you just haven't really established yourself in the community yet. So I know that can be really tough. I think if you're new and you're wanting a silicone baby, it might be easier to purchase directly from the artist, because again, I feel like if you're the artist, it's a little bit less risk on your end in terms of monetary outlay, because the main cost to you was the kit and the materials to actually create the baby. But if it's a silicone baby that you bought for your own collection, you've spent, you personally have spent thousands and thousands of dollars, on that baby, most likely. So that transaction is definitely a little bit trickier, and I would treat it differently. So, and I think that, what happens is you list a doll for sale, or, let's say I, go on YouTube and say, okay, this doll is for sale. You get a bunch of inquiries kind of all at once. And, one might have hit your inbox, and then another, and they're kind of like piled up. I do try to answer people in order. And just try to also get a gauge of how serious they are. I think for the most part I have sold to people first come first serve. However, there was a case where somebody had inquired on purchasing one of my silicone babies, and I asked for a reference, and when I reached out to the reference was a little bit mixed. It seems like the buyer was like not happy with the baby and kind of gave the artist some grief, and then they finally kind of resolved it in the end. But and that was the reference that she gave me, that she, I guess, thought was a good reference, and it was not a great reference in my opinion. So I just didn't feel comfortable. And then meanwhile, another person had inquired at around the same time, and this was somebody who's purchased from me before, and was a past customer. So I decided to sell her the baby instead. And then the person who didn't get the doll, she was really upset, and very upset with me. But at the end of the day, this is such a high stakes hobby that these dolls are very expensive. So I think we should have the right, as a seller, to sell to whoever we feel comfortable selling to, at the end of the day. And I don't think it has to be about what's fair. I think that if you're like an artist selling to a customer, I kind of feel like that's different. I don't know why, but I think just because the monetary stakes are not at the same level. Of course, you've invested tons of hours and time in creating that baby, but at least in terms of your own monetary outlay, it's just kind of not quite the same situation. So that's just my opinion. But yeah, it may be controversial, and not everybody, necessarily will buy into that. So I would definitely love to hear your thoughts below, and whether you think there's kind of a fair and best way to approach this that protects both the buyer and the seller. Another way that I've seen sellers protect themselves in this situation, and I've done this myself as well, is to do friends and family payment. And I think if it's somebody that, if you trust the seller and they're reputable in the community, the risk is probably really is low for you as a buyer. I know a lot of buyers have, a policy of like never doing friends and family, but yeah, I don't know. I've heard like mixed things. I've heard that the buyer sometimes can still have recourse by paying friends and family. So who knows? But the idea is, I think in general, we all should do goods and services, but sometimes if it gives the seller a little bit more peace of mind, friends and family can be another option. So I've kind of done that with people who are not as established in the community. And, the most recent transaction with selling my Maggie, we did it that way, friends and family payments over, the course of many months, and it was a very smooth transaction. I still have not shipped Maggie out because we are all sheltered in place here in California, and I actually have not gone to a store in like 7 weeks. We've just been using Instacart and Dumpling and other kind of food delivery services, and doing takeout delivery through like Grubhub and Postmates. So that's how we've been kind of surviving and getting food. And our family's been sick, so I just don't want, I don't want to expose anyone. Anyway, so quick update on that. I finally got my COVID test results back, and I put an update on the video that I originally posted, and our results, it came back negative. And then my husband and my mother-in-law went to get tested as well, and those results also came back negative also. So I guess we don't have it. Either that, or maybe we had it, and now that we've had it for so long, maybe we're not contagious anymore. Who knows? I'm still kind of skeptical because I don't know what this is if it's not COVID, like the low-grade fevers, headaches, fatigue. Ethan, and Audrey's had a consistent 99 range temperature for the past week and a half. And Ethan was kind of normal temp for a few days, and then today he's like 100.4. So I don't really know what that's about. And then for me, I've been normal temp for a couple of weeks, but I still have these headaches. My energy's a little bit better though, so that's good. And same with my husband. Energy's a little bit better, but he still gets this like headaches and dizziness. My mother-in-law lost her sense of taste. And then Audrey and I both have a sore throat, and so it's just like we're just like not quite there yet. But if you could just continue to keep us in your prayers, we'd really appreciate it. I just don't even remember what it feels like to be completely healthy anymore. It's been so long, so I don't know. But yeah, thank you for joining me. Here is baby Talia. I hope you like her name. And she's just a sweetheart. And my next video will be a Life of Faith box opening of another doll. I have like a couple more dolls that I'll be doing videos of from that collection. And thanks for letting me just share my other, dolls that I enjoy. Like, I have a diverse collection. So anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Hope you have a great day and stay safe and healthy. And we will see you on the next video. Bye.